11 runs in the first 3 innings. Good afternoon, everybody, and it's great to be back here on the Phightins Final. I am your boy, Matty B, and 11 runs in the first 3 innings en route to a 13-1 defeat at the hands of the San Francisco Giants. And what in the hell is going on with the Philadelphia Phillies over the past week? Things have not been well. It's either we're blowing people out or we're getting blown out, and actually more so that we're getting blown out. The latest substandard starting pitching performance was turned in last night by Kyle Gibson, who never made it out of the second friggin' inning. And it was just bad. Bad baseball. And that's really all that there is to be said about it. And the fact that the Phillies offense cannot bust through for anything other than one run, and that did not happen until the ninth inning, is not the type of play from a team that's burdening or verging on the playoffs. Folks, I got it. The September swoon is on everybody's mind right now. It's been on my mind since the 5-0 loss to the Pirates last Sunday. But come on, man. Come the frig on. I can get losing, and I can accept losing. But you know what? When you're not even competitive, which the Phillies have not been largely this week, that's a whole other level of incompetence. So 13-1, this West Coast trip or Western/West Coast trip continues to be a buzzkill. They're 1-3 now, and we're sucked to deal with it, and that's the worst part of it all. So we got to do what we got to do here. So it's a bad. Oh God, let's go Mets. Yeah, let's go Mets again. What have they won? Haven't won anything. What about the 10-9 loss to the Mets? What about the 10-9 loss to the Mets? I went over that weeks ago. All right, I went over that weeks ago, and but listen, it's just really disheartening. Again, I can take losing, but the way this team has been losing over the last week is just really concerning and alarming. And let's get right to the line, shall we? Because let's get it over with. Personally, the Phillies would finish the day with 1 run on 5 hits and 1 error. The Giants would finish with 13 runs on 11 hits, no errors. How it all happened, as I mentioned, Kyle Gibson, the Phillies starter last night, never made it out of the second. But it all went down, and it all got started in the bottom of the first. Jock Peterson, who had himself a night, would single in Mike Yastrzemski, making it 1-0 Giants. Then Brandon Crawford would knock in William Flores, make it 2-0, and Evan Longoria would then double in Jock Peterson to make it 3-0. And then Brandon Crawford would score on a wild pitch, uncorked by Kyle Gibson to make it 4-0. So heading into the second inning, the Phillies were already down 4-0, and you felt it then. I mean, if there's anybody that came out of that game, especially watching that first inning, thinking anything other than a repeat performance of what's been happening this week, then you're a better man than me, because I definitely had Blowout City written all over my my forehead watching that game last night, especially heading into the second inning. And in that second inning, Jock Peterson would pretty much blow it all open with a 3-run shot to make it 7-0. And then in the bottom of the third, the Giants would keep pouring it on. Andrew Knapp would sac fly in Estrada to make it 8-0. William Flores would walk. Luis Gonzalez would score. Bases were loaded at the time. And then Jock Peterson would walk to make it 10-0. And then Evan Longoria would walk to make it 11-0. It was just Connor Brogdon at this point. This wasn't Kyle Gibson, but just an awful game. Then bottom of the fifth, Estrada would knock in William Flores to make it 12-0. Andrew Knapp would ground out and fielder's choice in Luis Gonzalez. And then the Phillies would finally break through in the top of the ninth when Alec Bohm would knock in Nick Maton to make it 13-1. And that is what your final score was last night from Candlestick. No, I know it's not called Candlestick. Oracle Park, I think it's called. Yeah, Oracle Park out there in San Fran. Individually, offensively for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber, just once again, another unimpressive 0-for-3 with two more strikeouts to add to his season-long total. I mean, come on, man. Have we not endured enough of Kyle Schwarber as our leadoff hitter? Have I not endured enough of Kyle Schwarber at all? Listen, I got the home runs. He hits 38. He got 35 home runs on the year. That's great. But he's a freaking automatic out in that leadoff spot. He's an automatic goddamn out. Move him down the lineup. Give him an opportunity to bat with runners on base, potentially. Not lately, but potentially. Get him the hell out of that leadoff spot. It is doing absolutely nothing for nobody. It is embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to have him leading off for this baseball team. He cannot hit for average. Why is he leading off? Nick Maton, who would come in later on and play left field for Kyle Schwarber, was 1-for-1 with the run. Rhys Hoskins, 1-for-3. Sosa would come in, and he was 0 for 1. We started putting in a lot of pinch hitters there at the end. Alec Bohm, who gets offensive honors of the night again, 2 for 4 with an RBI, the only RBI the Phillies would have on the evening. Bryce Harper, very uninspiring play from the NV3 since he's returned from the disabled list. Everybody seems to be still waiting for Bryce Harper to break out and find his timing. I got it. He's been out for 2 months, but he's the reigning NL MVP. Should he not be able to hit himself back into contention? Another 0 for 4 night. JT 0 for 2. Donnie Sands, the third catcher that we added to the roster for part of our September call-ups, came in, was 0 for 2. Nick Castellanos 0 for 2. Matt Verling, again, he got some opportunities to play in for Castellanos at the end when everybody played. He was 0 for 1. Bryson Stott 1 for 3. Gene Segura 0 for 2, and Brandon Marsh 0 for 3. For the Giants, Lamont Wade was 2 for 6 with a run. Mike Yastrzemski was 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Wilmer Flores was was 0 for 3, but he scored 3 runs and he did have an RBI. Jock Peterson 2 for 2 with 5 RBIs, a homer, and a walk. It just continues to read like this throughout the lineup here, and you got the point. Pitching, god awful. Kyle Gibson, the latest pitcher to kind of step up and take his turn as just having a bad night. He lasted an inning and a half, 5 hits, 7 runs. They were all earned. He gave up 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. And also, he did give up a home run. Coonrod, Sanchez, Bellotti, and Garrett Stubbs, man, got the opportunity. Again, you saw that happening, too, around the second inning, right? You're wondering which one of them would get the opportunity. Stubbs with his 21 ERA or Maton with his 27 ERA. Which one of those was going to get the opportunity tonight to pitch to attempt to save the bullpen, because it was trending in that direction. Stubbs he pitched an inning, gave up a hit, a run. It was earned, and his ERA, as I mentioned, is now up to 21. The Phillies, as a staff last night, issued out 10 walks. 10 friggin' walks last night. The staff issued out. God awful. Gibson would suffer the loss, rightfully so, 9-6. Alex Cobb, on the other hand, for the Giants, went 7 strong, 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 7 batters. Jarlin Garcia pitched an inning, and Luis Gonzalez in mop-up duty an inning as well. And there you have it, folks, 13-1. And we're left with a lot of answers about what the Phillies, what's going on with the Phillies over the last week. 5-0 loss out there in Pittsburgh at home against Pittsburgh for hitting the road against the Diamondbacks. And then over the course of the week, it was either feast or famine for the Phillies when it came to the Diamondbacks. You lost a 3-game series with totals of 13-7, 12-3. They came back and they won 18-2, and then tonight they lose 13-1. This is not constructive baseball, folks. This is destructive baseball. They can't maintain this pace. I don't think we're going to be able to stand getting blown out for 3 nights in a row and then blowing somebody else. It's just not going to work. It is very, very disturbing and alarming. And I do understand what is on everybody's mind as far as the September swoon. Is this what this is? Are we on our way to another September collapse? It's 1 game into the month, but is it really, though? Are we not going to incorporate the last week of August? Because I think if it does kind of fall apart or unravel on the Phillies, the origins of that fall apart would be that last week in August, or the week that just was for the Phillies. But you know what? Listen, I'm getting the cart way before the horse here. We still got a ton of baseball ahead of us, 30 games, I believe. We still got the wild card in our hands. It's ours to lose. But you know what? We got to pull out of this, man. We got to get ourselves back together as a baseball club. Am I still confident the Phillies are winning the NL East? Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. Only 11.5 out with 30 games to play. Do the math. Absolutely. What's up, Cowboy Dave? What's wrong with the Phillies? I don't know, man. And I'm open for suggestions. Does anybody know what's wrong with the Phillies? Actually, I do. I have a theory, and I'm going to get to it here in a second, Michael. So just hang on. What's going on, Scott? How are you today? This fine Saturday. Big college football day here in the Delaware Valley, or across the country, actually. Bailey Falter is the ace now. Starting pitching is horrendous. Yes, Walter, and I guess that's the perfect segue. All right, so question earlier was asked, what is wrong with the Phillies? And everyone's going to have their own opinions. But it comes down to one thing, and Walter just talked about it, starting pitching. All throughout the season, this team has been this way offensively. All right, we can pretend that they haven't been, but they have been. Kyle Kyle Schwarber has been inconsistent, to say the least, as the leadoff hitter. The team overall has been inconsistent as an offensive unit. They're not a very fundamentally offensive team, okay? And what I mean by that is a team that has left 846 runners on base this season, and 463 of those runners in scoring position with 2 outs or with 2 outs, is not a fundamentally sound baseball team. But that is something that's been in our breadbasket since April. It's not this is not news to anybody. This has been what this team has been all year. But what has also been an up and down, now it seems like we're going back up and down, is that the bullpen. Remember, we called it the blowpen back in April and May. Well, they righted the ship. They've begun now to kind of veer back out of course. Also, but the one thing, the one constant, the one thing you could rely upon every single night back earlier in the season or up to freaking this past week has been the starting pitching. Has always been there. It might not have been a great game by the starter, but it was a game that kept the team in it. It was a game that the starting pitching was able to keep the team in a game. Now, maybe they didn't come through offensively, but they were pitching well all season long up to last week. What has happened last week, or what the difference between the first 5 months of the season and this past week is, I don't know. But when the starting pitching has now gone into the tank, and that is why we're losing games the way we are. Because now not only are we not performing offensively, now we're not getting the starting pitching to bail us out of it. So that is what's wrong with the Phillies right now, Walter, is that, and in my opinion, is that our starting pitching has gone to hell in a week. And then pure and simple is what's been happening with that. When your starting pitcher can't get out of the second inning, when you give up 11 runs in 3 innings, you could be the friggin' 27 Yankees, and you're not going to be able to come back from that every night. You're just not. You got to get better pitching. And right now, the Phillies, who've had great pitching all season long, and I am going to say they've had great pitching all season long. They have had. Their rotation has been one of the best all season long. Yeah, we got some injury issues. Zach Wheeler, Zach Eflin. Syndergaard has not been, so to speak, in my opinion, as advertised. I don't think so yet. Kyle Gibson's an up and down emotional wreck all season long, and we got him on one of his bad nights. Ranger Suarez, took him for a little bit to figure things out. He had a bad game this week. And then you add in Bailey Falter, and then Aaron Nola. It's just right now, that's where the problem is. It's the starting pitching has been god friggin' awful. So that is my opinion there, Walter. I think that I think it's a pretty good one too. Those are lucky they are done with their season series against the Mets. Why are we lucky because of that? Why? So friggin' special about the Mets. Again, what have you won? Right now, the Phillies and Mets have won the same exact thing. Nothing. So again, talk to me in about a month. We can fire this baby back up in about a month. Walter says Bailey Falter is the ace now, starting pitching runners. Yep. Sup? What's going on, man? Phillies need to start stealing bases in my eyes to get players in scoring position. How you feel about that, brother? You know what, Scott? I keep stats here. I kept stats all season long. The Phillies have stolen 84 bases this season. They've stolen 84 bases as a team this year, and that's above average league wide. It's not that they're not getting runners in position, Scott. That's not been the problem all season long. They can get runners on base. They can get runners on second and third. The problem is we haven't been able to consistently get runners into home, score them. We are a god-awful team in situational hitting. We are a god-awful team, and this has been the problem all year long. It's not indicative of this week. We have been like this all season long. We just can't get the runners in. When you leave 846 runners on base for a season, 846! That's a lot. That's too much. That is too much. And then half of those 846, half of those guys have been left in scoring position with 2 outs. That is too much, Scott. That is the problem. It's not getting on or getting over. It's getting in has been the issue with this team all season long. We don't have slash dash contact hitters. We got home run or nothing hitters in our lineup. That has been an issue. This offseason, we need to address that. We need to bring in some Trey Turners We need to bring in some Michael Taylors. We need to bring in those guys that can kind of hit for average, hit the ball on the ground, hit the ball on line drives, and generate some small ball offense. You saw it the other night in the 18-2 win against the Diamondbacks. The Phillies didn't hit any home runs in that game. It was such a beautiful thing to watch. No home runs, just moving runners over with doubles. And they still left a crap ton of runners on base in that game, but they scored 18 runs. We need hitters like that, consistent hitters like that in our lineup, unless to really maximize the full value of what we got power-wise. Mike again from AL for AI. They need a leadoff hitter that can get on base, not a home run hitter. I concur, Michael. I cannot echo those sentiments louder than what you just said. I agree. Kyle Schwarber is not a leadoff hitter. Right now, Kyle Schwarber should be batting around 6th or 7th in this lineup. He should be. He is an automatic out at the top of that lineup. He's an automatic out. We start off every game with 1 out consistently. All right? I agree with you 100%. Nola is starting his September Bull as usual. Scott, let's give Aaron a little bit. Let's give him a little bit more time. Let's give him another couple more starts. I got it. I know what we're trending towards, but we got to get out of our own heads here. This is a new September, a new season. It's a new manager, for God's sakes. We got to get out of our own damn heads. Well, more importantly, the players got to get out of their own heads. So let's give Nola a little bit more time. But you're right. It is concerning. Yeah, Wheeler's injury was extended. They reported this morning. Thank you, Dave, for giving me that segue. Yeah, I agree. The Wheeler injury. So he's apparently still feeling some soreness and stiffness in that elbow. They're gonna move him. They're gonna push him out a little bit further. So no news. Well, the good news is the MRI has shown nothing structurally damaged. So maybe it's soft tissue, whatever. If we can get to where we got to be right now, and you know what, the NL East might be gone. This might be a matter of trying to get us to the playoffs as healthy as we possibly can be. That might be a serious conversation here soon. When you're dealing both with Wheeler and Eflin, is it safer or better to shut them down until October? Or is it, or what do you do here? So that's a question that the Phillies brass have to have, but it might be a serious discussion to have at this point. It might be. Sorry, Matty B. If the Phightins go 20-10 in their final 30, the Mets have to go 7-22 against bad teams. Not going to happen. It might, I don't know. Hey, Walter, never say never. Remember 2007, Walter. That's all I want to say. 846 runners. 846 runners. Yes. They have left on base there, Scott. 846 runners throughout 132 games. Do the math, folks. That averages out to about 6.5 runners left on base a game. That is, I don't care what era of baseball you're playing in, that is god-awfully high. Too much. Too much. Sean, what's up? Wheeler wants to come back out, but the Phillies put a pause on that. Thompson said the team wanted to get a look at Mercury in the relief role to gauge if he could be an option for the big club. Yeah, and again, as I said, the better option for the Phillies right now with the health of their starting rotation may be the kind of just get to October healthy. Define that or whatever you want to, take that in any way you possibly want. But I'm not giving up on the NL East. I've seen weird things have happened. So, but the better option for this team now, right now, with the way their health is trending, is to maybe try to just do what you got to do against a very weak schedule the rest of the way, and get to where you got to be in October. But there's no guarantee we're getting to October. That's the catch-22 with that whole thing. You're going to play for a spot in the playoffs that you don't have yet. You're gonna assume you're going to be there when you don't know yet. So it's a real double-edged sword to play with that. So I say pedal to the friggin' metal. NL East or bust, baby. The division's ours. Let's take it. It's reason number 145. Why I'm not a Major League Baseball GM. So yeah. So listen, today the Phillies will get right back at this afternoon here in a couple hours out there at Oracle Park, 4:05 Eastern start time. Noah Syndergaard will take his 8.9, 3.98 ERA, and he will be opposed by Jacob Junis, who's 4-4 and 4.04 ERA. And folks, I need a strong one from Syndergaard today. I need a strong one. I need 6-7 innings 2-run, 6-hit baseball from Noah Syndergaard today. I need it. And I think we all need it right now. We need that from him today. Hopefully he can deliver. Hasn't really delivered yet since he's been here. Never say never. We need some stabilization with the starting rotation. We need a good game from him. We need a win. We need to right the ship and get things back to normal. Enough of these blowouts and crazy position players coming in the ninth inning to pitch. None of that. I want to get back to some traditional baseball. No one needs to give it to me today. I need it bad. They still got to play the Braves 6 more times. Actually, they got to play the Braves 7 more times. So, but yeah, I don't care. Again, you can't be the best until you beat the best. Dave, come on. What are we running from here? Stand and fight like a man. Take your medicine. I'm not afraid of the Braves. I'm not afraid of the Mets. I'm not afraid of any team out there right now. There's no team, with maybe the exception of the Astros, that fear me. None. Except the Astros. All right? So let's stop this. Let's stop. We still got to play the Mets, or we still got to play the Braves. No, who cares, man? I bring them on. I welcome them. Let's go. You know? Come on, man. I want to be the best, and we got to beat the best to be the best. So, sorry, Dave. I got that on the soapbox. I apologize. Just a couple other things to kind of keep in mind this week. I wrote some numbers down because I wanted to kind of get it in my head a little bit. But the Phillies as a team since Sunday, and this is the last 5 games, the Pirates, the 3 games against the Diamondbacks in last night's game, they've committed 4 errors in the last 5 games. 4 errors in the last 5 games. That's way up high. They've hit into 7 double plays in the last 5 games. They've only had 1 stolen base. Only 2 home runs in the last 5 games. They've struck out as a team 41 times. They've left 31 runners on base. They've only walked 20 times, or they walked 16 times. They've gotten 46 hits, and they've left 19 runners in scoring position over the last 5 games. Not really, really good stuff. So this has definitely been a week to forget, and a week to move on from, and a week to get as healthy as we can, or get out of this with less damage as possible. And we need to turn the ship around starting today. Noah Syndergaard is going to get the shot here. We need him. We need him to have a big afternoon. Well, yeah, well, that's a whole other topic, Scott, and that's the question I still need answered. Why was Noah Syndergaard shut down twice against the Mets this season? Why was he not allowed to pitch against the Mets twice with 2 different teams, by the way? I still want to know the answer to that. I will keep investigating that for you, Scott, I promise. Yeah, last year against the Astros, Walter, hopefully those last 3 games, probably for the Astros, ain't going to mean crap for them. You know, I'm not certain, and I'm not sure that it's going to mean stuff for us, but, you know, hopefully it doesn't mean anything for the Astros. Hopefully we're playing their AAA team those last 3 games. So in your words, to be a man, you have to beat the man. You have to beat the man. Yeah, that's it, baby. That's it. That is it. All right. So a little programming note. So we've endured the final West Coast trip, Western hit. Yeah, I know we got the Astros coming up here at the beginning of October, but I'm going to be coming back at you immediately following the Phillies games now for the foreseeable future, at least till next month sometime. It's rough doing them like this. It's rough to watch a game and then wait almost, 12, 14 hours to talk about it. So this is it. This is the last one. I'll be coming at you again tonight. You'll be getting double dose of me today as we'll talk about the game 2 of this series. And then we will get tomorrow as well as another 4 o'clock start on Sunday. So I'll be coming at you immediately following the game tomorrow night as well. It's been real. As you got to run breaking my hockey arena. Hey, Scott, take care, man. Always a pleasure for you chiming in, brother. So, yeah. So no more waiting until the next day. We're going to do this, immediately following the games, or just right after games. You know the deal. The regular scheduled programs. Till we talk again, let's do some. Let's pay some bills. So Saturday here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network. There was no Patterson Fanatic show this morning. Dave, can you answer why that is? Dave's listening. Why was there no show this morning, Dave? Then, of course, you're listening to me. And then we will have the Phightins Final coming on post-game later on tonight. Tomorrow morning, Devereaux Sports will be coming at you at 9. The Phightins Final, then again, right after the Giants game. and then the All Across All the Time Philly and Beyond show tomorrow night at 9:30 or 9 here on EUP. Don't forget our bus trip to DC. I believe that is closed now. I think that you're done. You cannot get in on that, but I could be wrong. So please head over to phillysportstrips.com and check that out. I hope you were able to get in on this thing. It's going to be an epic adventure. I can't wait to be part of it. I'm still, so get over there and check it out. And if you missed out on this one, and you should be kicking yourself if you did, don't worry about it. They're doing trips to every road game this season. So head over to phillysportstrips.com and check out everything they have to offer. And then if you have any questions about workman's comp, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law, Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300 is the man you got to call. Tell him the boys at EOP sent you. And listen, folks, that is going to wrap me up for the night or for the day. And you couldn't said it better myself. Dave, fire Howie. Yeah, I'm never backing down from that. Dave said that him and the Fanatics took the Labor Day weekend off. I guess their fanaticism only goes so far. I guess they can't miss a barbecue. You know, we all have limits. All right. Okay. So it's been real. I'll be talking with you guys a little bit later tonight. Until we speak again, let's go, Phils. All right. Let's get this thing back on the right path. Let's right the ship. Let's salvage this trip. And let's have a good game against the Giants. Come on, Noah. I need a big one from you. Go, Phils. I'll see you guys later tonight.